Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here to the non-charter qualifying race for the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 for race number 4 of Season 4 of the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series. We're here tonight at the D-shaped mile-and-a-half Atlanta Motor Speedway under the lights. Same type of conditions that the drivers will be facing in the charter race tomorrow. It's an all front row Ford Mustang group as you've got RJ Bishop lined up on the inside of Laura Chung. Both of those drivers, I believe, are looking to make their second start of the season. Behind them is going to be the number 40, I believe that is, of Pedro Lucas. It's hard to tell him and Stoltz apart. Actually, no, I think that's Stoltz. I think Lucas is starting further back in the field. Stoltz is looking to make his first start of the season, as is Mike Wiley in the 93 there in row 2. You can take a look down in the description below for the full starting lineup for your 26 drivers here this evening. Let's go down trackside for those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines.
It's going to be 33 laps of racing here this evening, just a tick under halfway of what we'll be running in tomorrow's charter race, 65 laps in that one. Of course, the one story that we always seem to be talking about ever since we left Manassas is the former champion, Chris Dollerton. Of course, going to victory lane in the charter event. Dollerton has made the last 3 starts. Of course, all of them he has made due to a championship provisional. He only has 2 left at his disposal, and then he has to make sure that he makes at least 5 more regular season races through racing his way in for his victory to count towards a playoff spot. So, if he can finish here today, up inside of the top 5, or even up in the top 6, he would transfer in. If he does not finish up inside the top 6, then of course he would get a championship provisional, and it would be the top 5 drivers who would be moving on to the main event show. Dollerton, in his 3 starts so far this season, finds himself with a victory and 3rd in the overall standing, so he's been doing really well when he makes the main event race. It's just a matter of qualifying his way in, not having to rely on the championship provisional. But here we go. Let's find out the 6 drivers that are transferring into this season's Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 as the non-charter race, courtesy of RJ Bishop, is green. Let's roll. Now, with the nighttime conditions, Atlanta Motor Speedway, and the CTS physics, these speeds are going to get upwards of maybe even 200 miles per hour by the time they get into turn 3. Saw them in practice hitting between 190 to 195, and that wasn't even in draft. That was single car speed as Zach Stoltz will look to the inside of RJ Bishop. It's going to be all about positioning here tonight as well. That inside line will be the preferred line, and you're going to see a lot of drivers making moves all the way through the field from the front to the back, as we are 3 wide already up here at the front. It's going to be for 3rd place. Michael Good down in the bottom. He put Brad Stover in the middle. RJ Bishop, the pole sitter of this LCQ, if you will, all the way on the top side. Now it's Will Goss in the 20. He's going to get put 3 wide. Good, or make that Michael Rood, rather, not Good. Michael Rood in the middle. And now on the bottom, Quentin Moore going to the lead with Pedro Lucas. Oh, we got trouble in the back. That's Harrison Ponder into the wall. He's collected up Adam Samsel. Caution's going to fly for the first time here tonight at Atlanta. A 2-car incident out of turn 4, heading to the start-finish line. Oh, they're wrecking even more. Dylan Poteet back there. Rob Evans. Dylan Schwallenberg. Zach Stoltz. Michael Rood. There's Austin Colano back there. I'm sorry, make that Dawson Wise, rather. I'm thinking of last season. Joshua Osborne's got some damage. There's Josh Torres down the inside, smoking. I think I saw Tristan Allen with some damage. And Will Goss has got some damage on the front end of his machine. And just like that, we're only 3 laps here into this LCQ as Chris Dollerton's got damage. There's Schwallenberg. And already several drivers torn up. There's Zach Stoltz, Brad Stover. They've got damage as well. So a couple of drivers are going to stay out. Pedro Lucas is going to stay out in the 41, as will teammates Osborne and Evans. Although I'm pretty certain both of them were involved in the wreck, and looks like Osborne had to let Rob Evans by. They scored them the way that they crossed the start-finish line when that caution came out, but the time of that caution was kind of weird, and R.J. Bishop had to teleport to pit road as the pole sitter for this race. That track position did not help, and ooh, Justin Dearborn may have missed his pit stall as he and Will Goss got together. We've got a little bit of everything chaos going on right now, and we're only 3 laps in. Caution's going to fly for the first time tonight. Might make it easier to figure out who the 6 drivers are that are going to transfer in, as if Chris Dollerton DNFs from this race, it's going to be only the top 5 that transfer, along with the 83 on the championship provisional. But Pedro Lucas leads the way. Let's go back and take a look at a replay of what happened out of turn 4, and then the follow-up wreck under caution over in turns 1 and 2. So here's when the caution came out. 4 wide with Seth Cole, Dawson Wise. They're going to make contact up into the left rear quarter panel of Harrison Ponder, and then Ponder's going to get Adam Samsel. And this was closer towards the back of the pack, so we were very fortunate it was only a 2-car incident. Pretty extensive damage to the rears of both the 79 and the 13, and these drivers already going into these corners were probably loose, and when you have no rear spoiler up there able to catch the air, that back end's going to want to kick out even more. And then what happens up here? Where does it start? Let's look around the 80 of Brad Stover, the 65 of Rob Evans, perhaps? Well, this is where the second incident is. They wrecked behind them, but Evans up into Stover, collects Michael Rood, Will Goss, and then here comes oncoming traffic. Dylan Poteet's going to do a pretty nice job snaking his way through. Justin Dearborn going to just narrowly avoid the 00. Look at the 36 of Natana Miedo back there. 69 of Taylor Gerdes does a nice job also. 81's got the damage on the front of his Ream Ford Mustang. The whole hood buckled up, and I saw for a brief moment it went down. It buckled back down. I think he was involved in the other stack up, though, that took place prior to the one we were just focusing on. Oh, yeah. He came flying in. R.J. Bishop in the 12 was the one that he nailed. That's why Bishop had to teleport to pit road, and looks like Osborne's going to get into Tristan Allen, who goes down into Poteet, who comes up into Schwallenberg. Zach Stoltz has nowhere to go. Poteet comes down into Wiley. Wiley comes down into Dollerton, who then goes down into Laura Chung. Those two might have hit the wall there. Torres is the one that first clobbers the 12 of R.J. Bishop. Then Dawson Wise comes in as well. And Bishop's night is over. And there's the 83 of Dollerton. We're going to see if we can get a better camera angle, because I think he and Laura Chung, after their contact, might very well have hit the inside wall there. Coming out of turn 2. See Poteet down into Wiley, into Dollerton, who then is going to spin across the nose of the 27. Still going about 75 miles per hour, trying to get on the brakes, trying to slow it down, and ooh, he noses it into that inside wall. Laura Chung, I don't think did. Made a little extra contact with Dollerton after he bounced back off the wall, and that actually saved her from hitting the wall. There were a lot of drivers that did a great job getting through that wreck, including Taylor Gerdes, Natana Miedo, Dylan Poteet, and Seth Cole, and a couple of other drivers really dodged some bullets. Michael Rood, I believe, and Rob Evans will be able to continue with minimal to no damage, so they were very fortunate. Let's go back to the restart here, as several drivers are going to be out of the race early here this evening at Atlanta. Green flag set to come back out here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway as the lights are out atop the pace car. Top 3 drivers did not come to pit road under this caution. Pedro Lucas inherits the lead. Second place will be Rob Evans. Joshua Osborne lines up third. First driver to pit comes out fourth. That's Quentin Moore, followed by Arthur Xavier completing the top 5. Smet Ozcon, Justin Dearborn, Daniel Voyle, Seth Cole, and Michael Rood are going to be your top 10. After that whole melee that took place back on lap 3, we do have 3 drivers officially out of the race. Those are going to be the cars of Dawson Wise, pole sitter R.J. Bishop, and Josh Taurus. All three of those drivers have made one start in the charter races this season, but will not make their second. You saw the 83 of Chris Dollerton scored one lap down. I believe he is still on pit road trying to get repairs done to his pedigree Ford Mustang, as the green flag is back in the air here at Atlanta on lap 7 of 33. And Quentin Moore, who was the first car to pit road, those fresh tires, he's going to take advantage of them. It's only about 3-lap difference, but at a track as abrasive on good years as Atlanta is, they can make a lot of difference. As Arthur Xavier there, trying to make his first start of the season. He's going to go to the inside of Moore for second place. Further back there in the 5th position battle, you see that 07 of Justin Dearborn, the rear end of that car all pushed in. We'll have to see if that affects him speed-wise, as Pedro Lucas trying to do some mirror driving here. He's got Samet Ozkan now on the bottom. Arthur Xavier put to the top side in that battle for the second position. A couple of teammates there in the 70 and the 66 with Ozkan and Moore. And now Seth Cole moves into what would right now be the final transfer spot, 5th place, based on the fact the 83 is currently 1 lap down and will probably have to make the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 main event race via his 4th championship provisional. And now Cole will go to the bottom. A couple of these guys that did a great job of getting through that wreck are now reaping the rewards up here towards the front. Seth Cole in the 25, Natan Amiedo in the 36. And you got both of the No Limits Racing Ford Mustangs up here in the top 3 now with the 41 and the 36 in 1st and 3rd. Mike Wiley and his teammate Daniel Voiles now trying to move into the 4th and 5th positions. And look back there, you can see that Matco Tools number 13 of Adam Samsel. He's on the inside still in this lead group. Brought out the caution after his incident with Harrison Ponder off of turn 4 back on lap 3. That car is still up to speed and still has a chance of making the main event. And for Samsel, he's looking to make his first career start of the season. So far, he is 0 for 3 in making it into the charter races, as is the car just up ahead of him, the 69 of Taylor Gerdes. And I believe the car behind him, Brad Stover, is also looking to make his first start in the Duracell Cup Series main events. There's a lot of contenders up here of drivers trying to make their Duracell Cup Series debuts. Joshua Osborne in the 56, I also believe, is a driver that has not made a start yet this season, and the 65 of Rob Evans. And those two teammates are up here, but let's not forget, Pedro Lucas, Joshua Osborne, and Rob Evans all decided to stay out under our only caution up to this point, as Taylor Gerdes is going to take the race lead, and now... Oh no! Zach Stoltz was trying to find a way to get out of the way of the leaders. Daniel Voiles forced the issue 4 wide, and they're plowing in. Will Goss, Harrison Ponder, and there's Dollerton finishing off the Chick-fil-A Toyota. Well, that's some more DNFs right there. That's the tough thing about Atlanta. So fast of speeds, so fast of closing rates. Zach Stoltz had to find some way to get out of the way. They were 3 wide behind him. He held his line. Voiles forced the issue 4 wide, makes contact with the 44. And then they went up and collected up more drivers. Well, I think that anybody that was on pit road last time, and those that weren't, they will probably come to pit road this time, top off the fuel tank, make absolutely certain they're able to make it the rest of the way, I would think. Either that, or this puts them now in the fuel window to make it the rest of the way by saving a couple of laps of fuel under pacing, including someone back there maybe like Pedro Lucas. How bad is the damage on the 41 is the question. Because he's now got some damage because of being collected up in that. Tristan Allen and Dylan Pote back here. I thought Pote was actually going to plow into the wreck. There's Will Goss on the 20 coming to pit road as Ponder's now having his car pushed to the garage area. Will Goss, they're going to try and repair that Sports Clips Toyota Camry. Chris Dollerton's out, so it is official. Top 5 will transfer along with the 83, and Zach Stoltz still trying to limp that Z's Custom Diecast Dodge Challenger back to pit lane. So is Taylor Gerdes out in front showing the way? Let's go back and see what happened. This was going into turn 3 involving a lap machine. And again, I don't think you can fault the 44 of Zach Stoltz. He held his line, had them all go to different lanes, and Daniel Voiles realized the situation that if he slowed down, he was going to lose a lot of positions, so he was willing to force the issue, try and go 4 wide with a 44. There just wasn't room enough. Pedro Lucas didn't get a whole lot of damage out of that, but he certainly lost a ton of track position. And the worst part here for Voiles, as you're going to see, we saw it before, Harrison Ponder and Will Goss are about to come into view. That both of them were involved in wrecks back on lap 3, so they were off the pace and had lost the lead draft. They come flying in, seeing positions they can pick up. Oh, and Ponder tried to avoid. You saw he tried to go down to the inside, but Will Goss was there. The two of them made contact, and that kept the 79 going straight, and there's a shot right there as Dollarton's going to clobber Harrison Ponder. Sends him up and over onto his roof, back onto his wheels, and coming to rest down in the middle of turns 3 and 4. So Dollarton for sure going to need a championship provisional. This I think effectively takes Will Goss, Zach Stoltz, Harrison Ponder, and Daniel Voiles out of a transfer spot into this week's Atlanta race. And it sets us up for another restart as we're only a third of the way through this race and working our second caution of the night. And the list continues to pile up here at Atlanta as we have 4 more drivers in the garage area. Harrison Ponder, Zach Stoltz, Daniel Voiles, and Chris Dollarton, joining Dawson Wise, RJ Bishop, and Josh Torres. 19 cars still running, all 19 cars still on the lead lap, but several of them towards the back, very badly off the pace. Taylor Gerdes gets us back underway, followed by Brad Stover, Natan Amiedo, Joshua Osborne, and Rob Evans going to be your top 5. Then it's Ozcon, Chung, Cole, Samsel, and Xavier as we're going back green here, nearing the halfway point of this race. Matter of fact, I believe the halfway point of this race was reached when they were on the back straightaway this past lap. See how anxious these drivers are going to be going double 3 wide. Again, they've been this way ever since we started this race, but the field has dwindled down quite a good bit since then as well, and you've got quite a number of drivers up here, even in this lead pack, that have sustained a little bit of damage in some way, shape, or form. Adam Samsel I see back there, Michael Rood, Justin Dearborn. I know that they've been involved in some wrecks here already and have got a little bit of damage to the rear of their race cars. As Osborne slots to second, here comes Laura Chung, the only driver of the front row still running. RJ Bishop, the pole sitter, an early exit. Chung, who started second, now back up to second for the moment. Gonna have to fend off a challenge from Adam Samsel, though, and ooh, they almost went 4 wide back there. You had Natan Amiedo looking low. He had Sumit Ozcan looking lower on him. They're gonna go 3 wide instead here through 1 and 2. As Taylor Gerdes continues to show the way, Taylor's trying to, for the first time this season, have all 3 of the Bulldog Motorsports Dodge Challengers in the main event field, along with his teammates Zach Rogers and Ryan Brommer. Both of whom have not had great starts to their year. Zach Rogers is 33rd in the points heading into tomorrow's race. And Ryan Brommer is, if I can find him on the list. Oh, actually, Brommer is actually doing well. I didn't see him up there towards the top. He's actually second in the standings heading into tomorrow night's race. And you're going to want to tune in tomorrow night's race, too. I mean, with what we've seen here this evening, with drivers battling as hard as they are, and there's only transfer spots in the main event on the line, there's really no points on the line for these drivers, unless you consider the points they would gain by transferring into the main event, wherever they would finish in that race. But this is basically a qualifying race. Main event race where points are on the line, a potential chance of getting into the playoffs. That is going to be wild here tomorrow evening. As Arthur Xavier to the inside. We talked about Taylor Gerdes trying to put all 3 Bulldog Motorsports cars on the grid tomorrow evening. Well, Arthur Xavier is trying to put all 4 of the Northeast Motorsports Chevrolets in the field for the first time this season. everyone should be good to go on fuel. Nobody came to pit road under that last caution. We had a couple of drivers that haven't pitted since the start of this race. Osborne and Evans, they're going to catch up to Will Goss. Oh boy, we had trouble with a lap machine earlier on, bringing out our second caution. Looks like we're possibly going to get through this without having a wreck, but like I said, the closing rate of drivers that are up to speed to drivers that are off the pace is so huge, and Taylor Gerardis, this is not good for him as he's gotten trapped behind the 20 car. Seth Cole's now trapped back there. Quentin Moore, these are drivers I know that are up to speed. Laura Chung and her teammate Justin Dearborn got held up also. Quentin Moore just now getting around the 20. Seth Cole about to do the same. Now if these guys start racing up here, maybe these stragglers can catch back up to them. Next cars they would catch are Tristan Allen and Dylan Poteet, but they're about more than half a racetrack away. I don't think they're going to be caught with a total of 9.5 laps to go. Then again, I might be wrong. I mean, let's see what they're carrying for speed right now. They're going 178 in the draft, 182 to 184 now for Arthur Xavier by himself. So it's not a huge difference of speeds, about what, 6 to 8 miles per hour? Maybe in these next 8.5 laps they'll catch him. I don't know. Might be on the last lap. Be a very interesting last lap as we're 3 wide for second place. Brad Stover, Adam Samsel, Natan Amiedo. Natan is actually the only driver outside of Chris Dollerton and Samet Ozkan to make multiple starts this season as a non-charter driver. Dollerton, of course, has made 3, all through championship provisionals. But both Samet Ozkan and Natan Amiedo have been able to race their way into 2 starts this season. Right now, Samet Ozkan is up into the 2nd position, looking to make his 3rd start of the year. Natan Amiedo has fallen back to around the 8th, 9th position, but he's still very much in the conversation. All these drivers have to do this evening is finish up inside of the top 5, and they are locked into tomorrow night's 65-lapper. Now, these drivers up here are continuing to race each other. They're 3 wide there with Amiedo, Lucas, and Osborne. As Lucas still has that right side damage from the incident when Daniel Voiles forced the issue 4 wide with the lap machine of Zach Stultz, and that was up at the front of the field at the time. But as these drivers continue to race amongst themselves, these guys back here have single-filed out for the most part. Chung, Rude, Schwallenberg, Quentin Moore, Justin Dearborn, and Seth Cole, and they are catching back up. So 11th back to 16th are about to be back up here into this lead pack momentarily. Samet Ozkan now out in front. And it's not going to be Dylan Poteet and Tristan Allen they're going to have to worry about. They're going to catch that 20 of Will Goss again. Not sure why the 20 is still out there. He's already been put a lap down now. We've only got a handful of laps left. There's no way he's going to transfer into a spot, so hopefully he'll be able to get out of the way of these leaders without causing any issue. Trying to look and see if he's got any teammates up here. Yeah, he does have one, Dylan Schwallenberg, at 46 back there. He can maybe try and help to transfer into a spot. Schwallenberg's looking to make his Duracell Cup Series main event debut. As, ooh, we nearly had a wreck back there. Mike Wiley pushing up into Arthur Xavier. That's another thing, too. That right front tire is getting a beating here tonight with the speeds these drivers are carrying, the grip that they've got going into the corners with the nighttime conditions. And the longer the run goes on, that right front continues to cook and makes it difficult for the car to turn. And Taylor Garrett is going to get stuck behind the 20 again. This time he's going to dart to the outside. They're going to split him 3 wide all the way down this D-shaped front straightaway. And I think everybody's going to make it work. Rob Evans is going to be the one that gets held up, though, in the 65. And, well, the strategy, if Will Goss was trying to help his teammate Dylan Schwallenberg, it didn't really work. Schwallenberg was one of the 4 cars that got held up back there. As Brad Stover now showing the way in the second Haas Racing entry. And there'll be 2 laps to go here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Michael Rude now to the inside of Osborne for second. Right now the final transfer spot belongs to Laura Chung. Seth Cole's about to take it out of turn 2. Turn 4 is where those 2 machines of Allen and Poteet are. Leaders hadn't yet entered into 3, so that lap traffic will not come into play, so this is it. You've got what you've got. You got to position yourself here. White flag is in the air, 1 lap to go at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Who are the 5 to transfer in to the main event? Brad Stover trying to hold off Seth Cole. Samet Ozkan right there as well. Toyota, Chevy, Toyota. Cole's going to make the move on the back straightaway. Will Ozkan push him, or will he force the issue 3 wide? Here comes Arthur Xavier. He's going to look for the 3rd position as Seth Cole, the Liberty University Chevrolet. He's going to make his 2nd start of the season. Looks like he's going to win here tonight, but Xavier's going to make a late charge. Can't quite get him at the line. It's going to be Cole, Xavier, Taylor Gerdes, Brad Stover, and Samet Ozkan, your top 5 crossing the line. Those are the 5 drivers that will transfer into the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 main event. Chris Dallerton's going to get the final and 6th transfer spot through his 4th championship provisional after a DNF here this evening at Atlanta. And I believe for 2 of these drivers, make that 3 of these drivers, they are going to be making their series debut. Xavier in the 24, Gerdes in the 69, and Stover in the 80 will be making their first career Duracell Cup Series starts here tomorrow evening at Atlanta. Standing should be official. It took us 2 cautions and a lot of wrecked race cars to get to this point. But Seth Cole for Pigeon Racing is going to get the victory, followed by Xavier, Gerdes, Stover, and Ozkan as mentioned. I believe that Cole, as mentioned, is making his 2nd start, and Samet Ozkan is going to be making his 3rd start of the season. Samet Ozkan has finished well in the races he has qualified into, the 2 races previously, as he's 29th in the overall standings with only those 2 starts, an average finish of 18th place. So we'll see what he can do here tomorrow night as well. Going to be 65 laps tomorrow evening for these 6 drivers, as well as the other 36 cars that already are chartered rides, and we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen in that one. As so far this season, we've had some very interesting drivers go to victory lane. Trey Wright, of course, at Daytona, Chris Dallerton at Manassas, and last week at Las Vegas, it was Ryan Butcher ending a winless streak. So what's going to happen here tomorrow night? We'll have to wait and see. Thanks everybody for tuning in this evening to tonight's race. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We are showing you full video results from tonight's qualifier. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for the main event of the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Until then, I've been Seth Cole. You've been watching a production of NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.